How Russia is preparing for the wars of the future. For centuries, the Russian way of war was numbers. Whether the enemy was Napoleon, Hitler or NATO, Russia would flatten them with a huge steamroller of troops, tanks, artillery and nuclear weapons. Those days have ended. Modern Russia's way of war is much more about finesse and technology. It's also much closer to the Western way of war as practiced by the Germans and today's Americans. Although clearly influenced by their Soviet ancestry, the armed forces of the Russian Federation have evolved considerably to reflect new realities facing Russia's defense leadership. Russia no longer has massive manpower advantages over its potential adversaries, nor can it trade space for time in light of the speed, range, and hitting power of modern aerial-delivered munitions, says a new study by the RAND Corporation. Facing a future in which their traditional strengths are absent or less useful, Russia's military leaders have adapted in ways designed to enable an effective defense of their homeland and, if required, to permit limited offensive operations around their periphery. Given that analysis of Russian strategy and intentions often seems to vary with the ideology of the analyst, the RAND study begins with a clear assumption: Russia's forces are primarily postured to defend their homeland, particularly key population centers and industry. There is no indication that Russia is seeking a large-scale conflict with a near-peer or peer competitor, and indeed it appears Russian leaders understand the disadvantages Russia faces in the event of a prolonged conflict with an adversary like NATO. Russia's military is postured to defend its homeland and vital industrial and population centers, using layered, integrated air defenses and a limited number of defensive bulwarks and buffer states to buy space and time to react to potential strikes or invasion. Buffer states and border defenses would take advantage of the traditional Russian practice of buying time and space, which would give Russia breathing space to mobilize. They would also supplement nuclear weapons as a guarantee of Russia's territorial integrity. Russia hopes to defend its territory and avoid decisive engagement with a peer or near-peer competitor by fielding defensive systems and strike weapons with extended ranges. These extended ranges would also provide operational advantages to Russian forces conducting offensive operations near its borders. Russia aims to disrupt any threats on its border that could target the Russian heartland, such as aircraft carriers, ships capable of attacking land targets or providing missile defense, foreign bases and some types of aircraft. Russia has built a variety of land, sea and air-launched missiles to accomplish this. While Russia will use a joint strategy of using air, land, sea and irregular forces, Russian strategists believe aerospace will be the primary domain in modern warfare. The study notes given Russia's conventional weaknesses in a protracted war with a peer or near-peer adversary, it will attempt to use indirect action strategies and asymmetric responses across multiple domains to mitigate perceived imbalances. The ultimate insurance for Russian escalation management is its arsenal of tactical and strategic nuclear weapons. Russia may threaten to employ its weapons in response to a conventional attack that would undermine the regime's control of the state or threaten Russia's nuclear deterrent. Though Russia has invested heavily in modernizing its conventional warfare capabilities, Russia is likely to consider nuclear responses to non-nuclear attacks that it believes present a grave threat to its territorial integrity and sovereignty, continuity of government, and the viability of its strategic nuclear deterrent, the study concludes. An attack on the Russian enclave of Kaliningrad, on German territory annexed after World War II, would be considered an existential threat to Russia. Several Russian and Soviet operations have involved a rapid, coordinated coup d'état attempting to achieve campaign objectives in a very short period of time. This emphasis is likely to remain, especially in pre-planned operations. Russia will also utilize deception, maskirovka, to camouflage preparations for their operations. Recent reforms have made a substantially larger percentage of the land components of the Russian armed forces available at higher readiness for short-notice contingencies, while reducing the total number of units. Units can deploy by rail to quickly build ground combat power within Russia in response to a crisis. Conventional and unconventional warfare approaches will likely be mixed in many potential conflict scenarios. Special operations forces, paramilitaries, and sympathetic civilians may provide targeting, situational awareness, and some harassment capabilities throughout the battle space. At the operational and tactical levels, Russia will likely focus on disrupting, degrading, or destroying adversary command and control and enemy power projection capabilities through the use of kinetic fires, cyber-electronic warfare, and direct action by maneuver forces.